welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm David.
I'm Rich.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Will.
And this is the first time we've had all four of us together for quite some time, and we thought it'd be a great opportunity just to give you guys our thoughts on 8th edition. So, we've got a couple of topics we want to chat about. When this video came out, there's probably been a few other releases that we weren't aware of at the moment, but we're loving it so far. So, we're going to first of all talk about what I am quite happy about, which is the Psychic phase and 3 playstyles. So first of all, the 3 playstyles, you all know guys, you've got open play, narrative play and match play. Really simple actually. Open play, bring your models, put you on the table. Narrative play, there's a theme behind it, as I say, a narrative. And match play, kind of like the similar style that people play at the moment in 40k, where there's a point system. So yeah, not much to really chat there about it, other than, great, you know, have 3 playstyles you can play in any way you want with your friends. That's pretty cool. More importantly though, as you've probably seen in the back reps, I'm really passionate about the Psychic phase.
So horribly so.
Yes.
Yeah. So most of my armies all have psychers if I can fit them in, and even if I've got an army that shouldn't take psychers, I'll still try and take psychers. So so what they said, guys, and I'm quite on board with it, is it's like a 2 dice rule, kind of like Age of Sigmar, I think, if I'm right there, Rich.
Yes, definitely.
So in other words, you can only cast as many spells that are on your data sheet, which sounds really fair. So you don't have like a Chaos Fate Weaver kicking around with 16 different abilities, which you use like 3 of them over and over again. You've now just got what's on your data sheet. And you know what? You've got a level to cast it, 5+, 6+, roll 2 dice and just try and get it. I really like that. Kind of reminds me of Days of Old with leadership tests, where you had an ability, you just roll a leadership test, try and get it off, and it worked really, really well. What about your thoughts on that, guys?
In terms of the casting what you can on your profile, it also negates having random psychers wandering about, not casting anything.
Yeah. Just becoming like warp.
Yeah, they're just
like
warp
tokens.
charges.
Yeah,
tokens.
I
hate that because you always have them and they're just floating around.
It's just more stuff to kill.
Yeah. They're just powering up one big figure, and no, it's pretty good in that one. I think that's really nice.
I think that the next element of the Psychic phase that I quite like as well is the denial part. So you need to have a psyker within 24 inches to actually deny the opponent's psyker. It does sound a bit unfair for armies that don't have any psychers, but I'm sure there'll be something. They'll take that into consideration. There'll be something in there that you'll find that can actually help it. But yeah, I like that. Taking away the massive pools of dice where you're having to spend about 30 minutes to actually plan your phase and work out what you want to do. At least this way.
Fire.
Oh yeah, the game will be much quicker and smoother. Especially for me when I have to play these guys and they have to sit there and watch me do off camera half an hour of what I'm going to do with Kairos.
It's not fun.
And
it's not fun because it's literally just watching you plan how you're going to destroy us in the Psychic phase. It's a horrible, horrible feeling.
Just sit
I
and
love
have a
break.
Bad man.
Pour yourself a cup of tea and then come back in 5 minutes. So yeah, I think they've really streamlined it. They have really streamlined it. Obviously there's going to be more to it, a little bit more meat and bones of what the Psychic phase will actually look like. But so far at first glance it's the right move in my opinion. I think it's going to make the phase a lot quicker. Kind of harping back to leadership tests, which I loved. I think it worked really, really well. And you know what, it'll probably balance out the Psychic phase a bit more as well. Especially when your opponent takes psyker heavy armies and it's just like, oh, not today. No one likes that. So I think you're next, Rich.
Yeah.
What's your opinions?
Off of that there, you mentioned the data slates themselves. Obviously taking a ticket from Sigmar, I'm all for it as well. Because there's nothing worse than you're in the heat of battle and you go, wait a minute, and you have to spend half an hour flicking through your book and then you look at the back and it's got the list of everything, but oh, you need to reference a rule here. It bogs it down.
Just one book.
Well, exactly. It's like codex, supplement, rulebook, something else. Internet for answers because the books aren't obvious. I'm very much looking forward to this as well. And obviously, as we've all seen on Warhammer Community, the simplified, well not simplified, well it's simplified. The simplified stat line with a flat chance to hit in shooting and close combat. Personally myself, I'm not so hot with the close combat. It does remove some of the feel, I think, with the whole sort of a really big solid unit versus a slightly smaller unit. Just a flat chance to hit. There's not that same level of interaction that I think you've got in 7th edition.
It's certainly quicker though.
It's definitely quicker, but shooting certainly just a flat chance to hit. It's much better.
It was one of the smartest moves I've seen in a long time. The fact that they go like, this skill 1 means you hit in 6, plus skill 2 means you hit in 5. No,
just say 5. Come on, just tell us
to hit.
Please.
I was like, my goodness, that's really good.
And of course, flipping back several editions now, and we're getting a move score back. So finally, individual units will be going back to having some individual flavour.
Yeah. Like that.
Definitely, very big on that. And then obviously, it would the suggestion from everything we've read so far would appear to be like all the units' special rules are included on its data slate.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, less referencing this time just for special rules. So I think we won't be seeing the 14-page special rule section at the back of the rulebook, which I'm so happy about. If you can do it, just show it. Perfect.
Sure.
What your data slate has is what you can do.
Absolutely.
I think any 40k player, or in fact any tabletop player who's got a mass rule book and having to sift through it, you do spend a lot of your time flicking through pages rather than actually rolling dice and playing the actual game. I know certainly with the condensed rulebook that's coming out, things like that. So just going through smaller books with data sheets before, absolutely fantastic.
I would note as well with Sigmar they've started to release the little the like A5 size cards, which have the just like a box of stuff with like a representation for every unit, or a couple of them I think it is, for everything in like the big battle tome. So you'll be able to just play with a couple of cards sitting on the corner of your table and your little condensed rulebook. So instead of having to carry even your full army book, because there will be what 5 or something that they're releasing, something like that. You'll be able to have everything sat quite neat and tidy to the side, and then you won't have to constantly be going back and forwards through 15
I do have to admit, you don't really see this, but at the side of all of our tables when we play, the amount of books that are sitting there is unreal. It is a lot to dig through.
I think Ross in particular, because he, Skitari, Cult Mechanicus, Rulebook.
I know 2 just for...
That's only 2. Chaos is the worst one.
But Chaos is the worst one.
Completely.
Yeah, Chaos is a tricky.
Especially when you're pulling up data slates and Chaos Demon stuff, and it's, it's a nightmare. So yeah.
Lovely. So we'll go on to probably me next. Can I speak about Death Guards?
No, you can't, Ross. You can't speak about it.
So I'm super excited for that release, but no, we've got to speak about 8th edition. What I'm probably excited about is the fact that all the armies, apparently, but they will, is going to get a rebalancing. So the fact that, you know, they did this with Age of Sigmar, where basically all the armies got their rules, which was really good. Now, not all of them, it wasn't completely balanced entirely, but it's the fact that everything got a review at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel it's really important for 40k especially, because you have armies that are getting constant updates, such as Space Marines, but then you've got like Orcs or Dark Eldar who have spent quite a wee while where they've not got their updates, or Chaos Space Marines. Tyranids. We can name a bunch of forces that haven't, but the fact that everything's getting a review at the same time is really, really critical, I feel. And it just might hopefully give a bit more of a feel of each army. Which would be really, really nice. Hopefully we'll get some rules that all reflect them really well. And it's just really nice to see everyone getting a good update all together, and then they'll throw supplements at them later on. Which we'll see how that goes, but you know, it means that a lot of the armies we don't see too often, especially competitively or anything like that. Maybe we'll see more of them.
They'll get looking for a change.
So we're certainly interested in a couple of armies that are hopefully going forward that we want to see, that are a bit more difficult to play. Now they're hopefully going to be much easier to play, and I'm super excited for that.
I'm really excited about that.
There
are so many forces that really need to join that 40k again, and they've just been pushed to the side. I know you're a big Dark Eldar fan.
Oh, I'm a huge Dark Eldar player. I could sit and talk about that for a while. We won't.
Forces need to be brought back into the limelight.
Do you know what it does? It really combats the power creep really well.
Yes.
Because
hopefully.
It grounds everything at the same level.
Yeah, the old system where they'd release a new armies. You think of how many armies actually have in open play in 40k. There's tons of forces, and they only release the forces like every few months or something to do a new codex.
Yeah.
So the problem is, when it came round to that army's recycle of getting their codex done, you had a ton of power creep done on all the other codexes, and sadly enough, some just get left way behind. And then when they got their update, there'd be like another massive overall update, like Decurions came out, and then Dark Eldar completely lost out and stuff like that.
They came out just before Decurions. They got their update beforehand, and it hurt my soul so much. You know, Chaos hadn't had an update without Legions since 2012, which is really, really harsh. Traitors was great. But getting everyone at the same time, a good update, will hopefully see like a lot more forces, people being a lot more interested in them.
Rebalancing.
And hopefully it's going to be balanced. we're saying that about 40k, so that's kind of a challenge. But
this is new 40k from new GW.
Yeah, sure. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that, and hopefully we'll just see a lot more interest in a lot of armies we don't generally see, and that's going to be amazing. So I'm really happy about that.
Will, what's your thoughts, buddy?
Well, the main thing that I'm it's not really been fully discussed yet, but the main thing that I'm looking forward to the most, once it's properly been released, is the close combat and assault phase.
Sure.
So one thing that has come out is that whoever charges first gets to strike first. So they're doing away with the whole initiative idea of it, which I absolutely love. So forces like orcs, which are a very combat heavy force, that have got initiative too, they don't really get to hit first. They've got t-shirt saves, they just get absolutely canned. Big units of boys, they just get absolutely trashed. Not so competitive, but if they get to attack first, that brings forces like that back into play. Again, Tyranids, like Hormagaunts and stuff. Yeah,
we don't have officially Tyranids running on the channel just now, but I've got a massive passion for Tyranids back before we did this. And I used to always have a lot of fun just bringing a ton of, as you said, gaunts and just watch your opponent try and deal with gaunts scraping at you. But if you're against like an elder force with higher initiative, it does get quite frustrating. And you think about it, I charged you, but I'm waiting for you to hit me back. It gets quite annoying.
So it does make close combat forces, I think you're going to see them all over the place now. Like,
it's going to be a much bigger thing in the game.
Absolutely.
40k has really struggled with close combat and how it's implemented. I mean,
it was always the more
ran away for a while.
It was always the more shooting of the two games.
If you had a shooty army, in fact, if you had a close, I think, to be actually honest, the only close combat army I've seen that really works well in the current state of 40k is World Eaters lists. Just purely because they can close the gap really quickly.
Yes, they can!
Insanely quickly,
But otherwise, other than World Eaters, you've got combat armies out there. I'm sure everyone can list a ton of lists and tons of meta stuff. The problem is, as standard armies go, if you go combat, you tend to be at a disadvantage, at least in certainly the early stages to mid stages of your game. Because the shots you have to take. And if your army's combat heavy, you're relying on having the numbers to impact and do that hit on your opponent. By the time you get there, you've been whittled down.
Absolutely. It's quite scary. I also like the fact that they've also said that you can disengage. Which is huge. Absolutely. So you're not getting bogged down by just this high armoured unit, and it's just like, great. Like, for example, I believe it was in our Skitarii match, you had those maniples.
Oh yeah, I had the robots
beat down on my veterans. It's like, cool, that's me.
So cool, so you can't shoot them, you can't close combat.
Nice Spaceballs versus
gonna get you.
It was insane. So being able to disengage from combat, I think, adds another aspect of tactical flexibility, if you like.
Cool.
Which I'm really excited about. But I'm desperate to get a close combat. I mainly shoot things. I prefer to stay out of combat. But I'm looking forward to getting, hopefully, maybe orcs, something like that, maybe Tyranids, get on the channel, hopefully.
Get some close combat armies.
Smash! Other than...
World Eaters.
Yeah, other than World Eaters.
I'm bringing more close combat, it's always good.
But we'll see how that all pans out. One other thing that, again, is just speculation, it's just what was being released. I'm not sure how it's gonna go. They've said, obviously, that you can run in your movement phase, and it's just called advance. Where you'll roll d6, I believe.
It's a d6 plus
add that onto your basic movement. Now it says you do that at the expense of shooting. They haven't actually specified if you do that at the expense of charging.
That could be interesting.
It could be interesting if they go that way. Yeah, you can run, build up momentum of your guys, and then charge. That would be awesome.
Maybe that's one of the reveals they want to keep close to their chest.
Well, that would certainly add the biggest advantage to close combat armies,
being able to
get that movement.
So get across the board.
Especially if you've got a fast one like Elder, you're just nipping across the table.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I
don't think I'll be charging with Elder though.
No.
Well, you could be bold.
But I'm really excited for the close combat phase to be fully.
I think it's safe to say we're all really excited about this edition.
Yeah, I mean, we're all pretty excited about it. It's going to be a lot of different things. We've got a lot of rules to probably learn, but it's
or not maybe.
Not as many books to read. So that'll be amazing to just try something out.
How are you guys actually feeling about vehicles and wound charts? I'm quite intrigued.
I find myself, it works really well in Sigmar, seeing big things, just having multiple wounds that you slowly chip away at, so I'm all for it.
I miss the old days, because I'll be honest, I've been playing 40k for a long time.
Yes.
Even when I was very young back in the 90s. I'm not an old guy. But we didn't always have hull points, and I loved it when you didn't have hull points. Okay, it wasn't Age of Sigmar where the vehicle gets slower and things like that, but just taking away the hull point perspective really it helped, because when hull points were added, it made vehicles really hard to kill. Then they just released a ton of crazy rules or crazy weapons to kill that said vehicle.
And
just remove it, and the Age of Sigmar style of doing vehicles is the way to go.
Yeah.
Some people may disagree.
I would like to see those charts. You know, more damage, less speed, less weapons, whatever. It's a good mechanic, and it works really nicely.
Well, we'll find out.
Hopefully
shortly.
it'll be there. Hopefully it'll be there.
You know, we'll find out how it's actually going to work and how practical it is.
Yeah.
I think I prefer it because the amount of times I play Imperial Guards, the amount of times I have my tanks and I either meet, which is fair enough, if I'm bringing tanks, you're going to bring melta-guns.
Yep.
The amount of times that a stray shot has exploded this and I just watch my entire gun line go down. I think bringing in wounds to this, I'm not saying they're going to become more powerful, but it's giving me, I believe, a chance to try and survive. I do prefer the wound mechanic, absolutely.
The current state of the game, if you see your opponent going vehicle heavy, every codex has a counter now.
Yeah.
Okay, not every codex has access to Grav, but they usually have an access to a Melta equivalent.
Yeah, or Haywire or something like that.
I'll always remember the battle I had with you when I used Tau versus your Astra Militarum, and I seen you brought a Stormlord. Now I brought a Storm Surge, but I'm not confident Storm Surge will take on a Stormlord, because I hit the Storm Surge for like 2 turns. But I knew if you just bring a Melta drop, and Tau have easy access to Melta, Marines have easy access to Melta, there's an easy counter to bring in vehicles.
See, that's what it was, because you hit me so many times and then it done, what, was it D3 or...
Well, each explode result does D3 wins in a super, D3 hull points in super heavy, and there was tons of explode results.
Exactly, so you just like, whereas if it was just wounds, I mean, you probably would have nailed them anyway with the amount of shots,
you're right,
but I might have had a chance to negate some of that, because you have to roll for the damage as well.
Yeah, so exactly. You might just get lots of ones.
You might get lots of ones and I might have survived.
And what's more, everything's got a save now. So there's a chance, whether a 6 is always a pass or not, we've yet to see.
We'll find out. There's
a lot more
to come out.
There's a lot more to come out
as well.
So yeah.
Well, I think that's our thoughts. I hope you enjoyed a nice wee chat there about it. I think overall, as we just said, we're all excited. We're all looking forward to 8th edition. There's a lot of people out there that have mixed bags about the things that have been announced so far. But I think as a channel, we're really willing and looking forward to embracing it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Really looking forward to it. So guys, let us know your comments down below. Let us know your thoughts on 8th edition. I'm sure we'll have a second update video on 8th edition closer towards the release.
Of course.
There's a lot more stuff to come out. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Share the video with your pals, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And I think we'll all see you again on another Tabletop Assault Battle Report coming your way.